Hi, let's go for a ride. Riding and owning bikes comes in many flavors. They differ by varying degrees of dedication and, of course, budget. Buying bicycles costs money, and so does the upkeep. From consumables like lubes or sealant, to wear and tear items like tires and brake pads, to straight up repairs. Parts aren't free, and if you're not doing it yourself, neither is labor. And I have heard of people who are not willing to dedicate considerable amounts of their living space to storing bicycles, as strange as that may sound. So, what if you can or want to only have one bike? I say, get a hardtail. The name is self-explanatory. Unlike the equally aptly named full-suspension mountain bike, here the rear end is rigid, but it still has a dampened fork. It's capable of a lot of different things, and even if there's usually bikes for each application that specialize and give us better performance, they suck at doing other things. Like most riders, the hardtail was my gateway drug into mountain biking. Coming from street, BMX and commuting, the full suspension bikes were just too much technology for my liking. I favored the simplicity of the hardtail. They are lighter and make climbing easier, and we get a lot more bike for our buck. Also, fewer parts mean fewer things a noob can break. It's the right tool to learn the sport, since it won't do the work for us. It's pretty unforgiving and will force us to choose our line and be aware of our body position. It'll tell us much more about the terrain we're riding on, and it forces us to use our knees to soften the ride and place the rear wheel correctly. I am a strong believer that starting on a hardtail will make us a better rider in the long run. Yes, we will be slower than on a full suspension on the chunky bits, and we'll have to be out of the saddle more. But we can still send it pretty nicely, and they are hours of fun out in the wild. But the trails isn't the only place we can take our hardtail to. It can double as a dirt jumper. Yes, the wheels are a bit bigger and the saddle can get in the way on large pulls, but for mere mortals like me who aren't competing at crankworks, it certainly does the trick. I may have mentioned that jumping isn't my strong suit, and I still have a lot to learn. It's a skill I feel will open the door to more fun out there on whatever bike I'm on. Run it over jump lines, pump it down tracks, send it through flow trails. The hardtail will be a fun, responsive and playful machine. To hone my skills, I take it to the streets. There's no better place to learn and practice than right outside our front door. Step-ups, balancing exercises also known as skinnies, handling practice, jumps, drops. There's lots of games to play, and the hardtail will be a trusted teammate. Plus, we'll find nooks and crannies in our cities we're entirely unaware of. By looking from feature to feature and navigating from spot to spot, we might even get lost in an area we thought we know. All the while, and make no mistake here, trial is a serious workout. To get to those spots, or maybe just to go shopping, take it on a coffee run, or to work. We can use our hardtails as commuters. They're sturdy enough to handle the daily rigor of traffic. You never have to shy away from a curb. Instead, now they're kickers. Gutters and train tracks are no bother, and potholes are, if anything, bunny hop practice. If we're getting serious, the front fork bridge presents an opportunity to mount a crate, or, even more committed, their gearing is strong enough to pull a trailer. Of course, there's better bikes to commute with. But in regard to the one bicycle policy, the hardtail is a lot less bad of a commuter than the commuter is bad on trails. Believe me, I have tried. I have one hell of a commuter, but putting him on a trail made me buy the hardtail. Yes, this may be a bit silly, but I wanted to really drive the point home. We can totally bring our hardtails to the park. Some parks are maybe a bit cramped for it, but we can still shoot around bowls and up and down ramps, practice our jumping, gain control and overall handling skills, and let's not forget to have fun. And if none of that is up your alley, and you just want to cruise around the neighborhood, be active, maybe get a little exercise in, just, get back on a bike, hardtails are inherently easy to ride, with a cushy soft front and a defined rear, ample gear range, low stand-over height, and comfortable tires. And who knows, maybe you get interested in some of the above after all. Yes, the commuter is easier and faster in the streets, but useless on a jump track. The BMX will always rule the park, but don't even think of putting it on a trail. The full suspension is king in the steep rock gardens, but a lot of work to pedal down the street. And if there's ever been a one-trick pony, it's the trials bike. The hardtail will be doing all of that just fine. If only one bike is your thing, get yourself a hardtail and do whatever it is you want to do on a bike. Thanks for watching, and pedal hard.